there, my name's Dave and welcome to another Guitar Zero to Hero song tutorial. In this lesson, I'll teach you an acoustic version of Mr. Brightside by The Killers, which is an all-time classic. I'm going to teach you two different ways of playing this song. The first method is a simple strummed version, and the second version is more advanced. It has some flat picking that gets you close to the actual riff that's heard in the song. For the basics, we will need just a capo on the first fret of our guitar. If you want to play this exact same way that the band does it in their live acoustic performance you can find online, they're using some crazy stretchy chord shapes that, to be honest, are a little bit physically impossible for myself personally. So that's why I've come up with this particular acoustic arrangement that sounds really great and gets pretty close to what they're playing. Now, if you want to master your chords back to front, then be sure to head over to guitarzerotohero.com to pick up my free guitar ebook. Or if you're fairly new to guitar and you're looking to build a strong and solid foundation, but you don't know where to start, then check out the Guitar Zero to Hero Premium course and membership, which gives you all the guidance to play with confidence. I'll leave a link to it in the description below. Let's jump into the lesson. Let's start with the intro, which is the same chords as the verse. First, I'll teach you an easy way you can just strum these chords, and then I'll teach you a flat picked riff that you can play that sounds close to the original riff in the song. So for the chords, we start off with a C, nice and easy. Now with the C chord, you do want to avoid letting the open 6th string ringing out. So when you're fretting the C chord, ideally you should mute the 6th string by either lightly touching the 6th string with your thumb, or you can lightly touch the 6th string with your ring finger as you're fretting that 5th string. Both methods work. I like to use my thumb. Then we go to a C sus2 over B. I'm just going to call it a C over B for simplicity. We take our middle finger, move it up to the 2nd fret of the 5th string, and we just sort of focus on those middle 4 strings here. So that's C over B, and then we have an F sus2. So keep your index finger where it is. Ring and pinky fingers will go on the 3rd frets of the 5th and 4th string. You can focus on the middle 4 strings if you'd like, but ideally you do want to take your thumb and reach over the top to hit that 1st fret of the 6th string. That will give you the fullest F sus2 sound, but if you can't reach your thumb over, that's okay. Just focus on the middle 4 strings. So that F sus2 is going to be played for 2 bars of music. Now in terms of strumming, here's a suggested strumming pattern. You don't have to follow it, of course. Feel free to experiment with your own rhythms. It's an 8th note strumming pattern that simply goes down, up, down, up, down, up, or 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. I'm going to play that once for each of the chords you see down below. So the easiest possible way of playing the intro and verse chords will be like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now let's take a look at how we can flat pick those chords to get a riff that's similar to the original recording. Let's break each bar up into 2 halves. For our first 4 notes of this C chord, we're going to pluck the 5th, 4th, 2nd, and back to the 4th. And I pluck that with a down, down, up, down. You'll see the suggested picking direction below in the tab. So the first half, 1 and 2 and. For the second half, I go to the 3rd string, and then I take my pinky finger, put it on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string. I'm going to pluck that and pull off with my pinky finger. Now, in order to pull off, you want to flick your pinky finger in a downwards direction. So pluck the note and then pull your pinky in a downwards direction. In that way, you'll get that 2nd note ringing out. If you just lift your pinky finger, you're not really going to get that 2nd note. So pluck, hold it out for an 8th note, pull off, and then we're going to end with one more pluck on the 3rd string. So the second half, and all together, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And what you can do is just practice that particular chord again and again if you want to just focus on getting the picking pattern right. Now the second bar is the exact same picking pattern. We just changed the C sus2 over B chord instead. And we are also going to use our pinky finger to again pull off on that 3rd fret of the 2nd string. So nothing else changes, just the main chord shape. And then we go to our F sus2. Now for this particular F sus2, we're going to play it slightly differently to the way we had it in the easy strummed version. So I'm going to keep my index finger where it is, put my ring finger on the 3rd fret of the 4th string, and have my thumb reaching over the top to hit that 1st fret of the 6th string. Our picking pattern differs slightly in that the first pluck is going to be the 6th string, but everything else is the same. So the first half and the second half and all together. And we're going to play that twice. So that's it for the flat picked main riff. Now I will note this isn't identical to the original riff in the recording. As I mentioned at the start of this lesson, to actually play that you need some ridiculously dexterous and long fingers. So in my opinion, this is a much easier way of playing it whilst getting sort of 90% of the sound of the original riff. And all together, 1, 2, 3, 4. And a bit faster, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, if reaching that thumb over the top to get that 1st fret of the 6th string is too difficult, you can rearrange the notes that you pluck for the F chord. So you don't need your thumb reaching over the top now, we just have our index and ring finger here. And what we can pluck is the 4th, 3rd, 2nd, and then back to 4th for the first half. And then everything else is the same, which would sound like this. So that's an easier way of playing that F sus2 bar with this flat picking. Together in full context, this is the easier version. Okay, now we get to the pre-chorus, which is pretty simple. Now, first off, I'll teach you the strummed way for simplicity, and then I'll teach you how you can flat pick it. So for the strummed method, we could use the same strumming pattern that we had for the verse. Apply that once for each chord, and the pre-chorus will simply sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we just play that chord progression through twice for the pre-chorus. Now here's how we can flat pick it. The picking pattern is much the same as what we had for the verse. We are just playing different chord shapes now. So for our A minor, we're using the same picking pattern that we did for the C, but we're just in this position. And we are also pulling off still from that 3rd fret. So that would sound like this. That's played for 2 bars, and then we go to a G sus4. So we keep your index finger where it is, then take your ring finger and put on that 3rd fret of the 6th string. For our first set of 4 notes, we are now plucking 6th, 4th, 2nd, and 4th. And then the second set of 4 notes is the same as we usually play. That's played for 2 bars, and then we have our F sus2 for 4 bars. The F sus2 is the same as the F sus2 in the verse. Again, you could choose to play it with that low F note, or you can simplify it by just playing that smaller F sus2. So the pre-chorus flat picked would sound like this. For the 3rd and 4th line of tab, it's just played through again, but at the very end, for the final bar for the F sus2 though, what I like to do is start building it up with some light strumming. So just a down up at 8th notes, building up until we get to the chorus. So the final bar, 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and that's it for the pre-chorus flat picked. If you want to see that in context, go to the playthrough at the end of this lesson. Now, whether you're playing my more advanced version or my simplified version, the chorus is the same, just 4 chords. We have a C chord, and then an F. I like to play my F like this. So it's a little bit like the F sus2, but we have our middle finger fretted here. And if you can, reach your thumb over the top to hit the first fret of the 6th string. Although that's not entirely necessary, you can just focus on the middle 4 strings if that is too difficult for you. Then we have an A minor and then a G. Now I play this G with my ring finger on the 3rd fret of the 6th string and middle finger on the 2nd fret of the 5th string, like so, because it just makes it easier to transition to the C chord as we loop that progression. Now in terms of strumming pattern, I'm just using a continuous down-up strumming pattern at 8th notes, once for each chord, and the chorus will simply sound like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. That's it for the chorus. Now for the first break after chorus 1, you can just continue playing those chorus chords if you want. And in the simplified version I play at the end of this lesson, I will do that, and I'll also apply the verse strumming pattern. For the more advanced version, we can include some chord voicings that emulate the synth guitar in the actual recording. So for this more advanced break, we start off the C the same way with the down, up, up, down, up. And what I want to do on that up strum on the end beat after the 2 is sort of try to focus on getting that first string ringing out, because that's sort of the melody note we want to target. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Then we go to an F add 9. So just move our ring and middle fingers to the 4th and 3rd string and put your pinky finger on the 3rd fret of the 1st string. We just want to focus on these higher 4 strings here. And again, on that end beat after the 2, we want to focus on that 1st string. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Then we go to an A minor, again, on the end beat after the 2, focus on the open 1st string. For this final bar, we're going to play a G like this, with our ring and pinky finger on the 3rd frets of the 6th and 2nd string. Now, as your ring finger's hitting the 6th string, it will naturally mute the 5th string there. So we're going to play this G and then go down to a G sus4 with our index finger on the 1st fret of the 2nd string. And then a regular G, so lift your index finger. And we just want to play that up to the 2nd string. Don't want the 1st string ringing out. And then we go back to our G add 11. So G, G add 11, G, G add 11. And we're just altering this melody note. Now we're just going to continually go with a down, up, and we're going to change chords on every beat. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And altogether break number 1. After that break, there's another verse, another chorus, and then break number 2. Now, for the simplified version for break number 2, we can just play the chorus chords again. But for the more advanced version, I'm going to introduce some flat picking that will, again, emulate what the synth is actually playing. So this is a lot of fun to play, and we're going to start with our C chord. We're going to start this off with a nice strum of the chord. And then on the 2 beat, do an upstroke on the 1st string, back to our root note, which is the 5th string. At this point, you can take your index finger off that 1st fret of the 2nd string, put it on the 1st fret of the 1st string, and pluck that with an upstroke. Then back to root note, and then pinky finger comes onto the 3rd fret of the 1st string, and we're going to hit that with an upstroke. So up, down, up, down, up. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Then we go to an F chord. So this is going to be a small F chord like this. Move your ring and middle finger to the 4th and 3rd strings. Your index finger will need to bar across the 1st fret of the 1st and 2nd string. We're going to start off with a nice raked strum of that chord, and then put your pinky finger on the 3rd fret of the 1st string. On the 2 beat, upstroke there, back to the root note, which is the 4th string. Lift your pinky finger, 1st fret of the 1st string, back to root note, and then lift your index finger to hit the open 1st. So those pluck notes in total. And all together, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and Then we go to an A minor. We're going to start with a raked strum. On the 2 beat, we'll hit the open 1st string to the open 5th string, and then lift your index finger, put it on the 1st fret of the 1st string, pluck that, back to the open 5th, and then lift your index finger and hit the open 1st. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and then we go to our G with our ring and pinky finger here. We're going to do that rake strum here, and then we're going to lift our pinky finger, go to our G at 11. We're going to do an upstroke on the 2nd string to the root note, lift our index finger, open 2nd, 6th string, and then open 3rd. So these 5 notes. And the bar in total, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and break number 2 in total. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's just repeated through twice for break number 2. After break number 2, there's the outro. Now for the simplified version, that's just the same chords as the chorus. For the more advanced version, we're playing the same chords as break number 1, and we're just repeating that again and again till the end of the song. And those are all the parts you need to learn for my acoustic arrangement of Mr. Brightside, which avoids a lot of those crazy chord shapes that are very, very tricky to play. So now I'll do 2 playthroughs of the song. The first playthrough will be the simplified strum version, and the second playthrough will be the more advanced version with flat picking and all the included fills. Feel free to play this back as many times as you'd like to practice, play along to, and see how you go.
Having
Thanks so much for watching. If you've enjoyed this lesson, then I know you'll absolutely love these other lessons too. So hit the link here. Or if you want to grab a copy of my free guitar ebook, then head over to guitarzerotohero.com or click the link here. Thanks so much, and I'll see you guys next time on Guitar Zero to Hero. Cheers.